Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So I finally have a tutorial for you guys. I'm going to be showing you how to make this really adorable prawn sushi charm. So the best thing about this charm is that you're only going to need one colour of polymer clay, and that colour is white. So to start this charm, you just want to take a ball of white clay and roll it out into a thick log shape. And sorry in advance for my bad framing in this video, it's been a long time since I filmed a tutorial, so I'm a little bit rusty. So once you're happy with your log shape, this is going to be the rice base. So now we just want to add some texture to it. So to add texture, you just want to use some dotting tools. So to start with, I'm just going to use a medium-sized dotting tool and I'm going to press that into the surface of the clay over the entire white shape. You just want to be making shallow indentations to give a kind of rice texture. So once I've gone over it with the larger dotting tool, I'm then just going to switch to a smaller one just to make sure the texture isn't too even and it looks nice and fluffy like rice. So this is personal preference and everyone has a way of doing faces that they like. Today I'm going to be using micro marbles that were gifted to me from Miniature Suite, so I'll leave a link to these down in the description box. Then I just added a mouth using polymer clay and I added some really cute pink blush using chalk pastels. Next I'm going to pre-bake this shape for 15 minutes. This is an optional step, but I find it very hard working with white clay. I get it very dirty and chalk pastels stick to it super easily, so I just find it a lot easier, but you can definitely skip this step. So now we're moving on to making the prawn. So I've just rolled out some white clay and I'm placing my base on top so that I can use it as a guide. So you want to cut out a rectangle from this white sheet of clay. You want to make it the same width as your rice base, but a little bit longer to make sure you've got room for the tail. I actually should have made mine a little bit longer than I did, so just keep that in mind. So please excuse the fact that my head is about to pop into frame. As I said, very rusty at filming, but you basically want to cut out your prawn shape from this rectangle. So I sketched out the little tails using a needle tool and I'm just using my knife to cut that shape out. Then you just want to round the top two corners and you're going to have your base shape for the prawn. Using your finger, you just want to smooth out the edges of the shape and also anything on the surface, any scratches, any marks that you've made. You want to keep the surface as smooth as possible for the next step. So once your shape is nice and smooth, we're going to make some indentations. I'm using a silicone tool, but you can use whatever you want. So you just want to make a line from the top of the shape to the centre of the tails at the bottom, and then you want to make a line across where the tails meet the body. So now we're going to be adding some colour to bring the prawn to life. So I'm just using a small paintbrush and some orange chalk pastels. So you want to be adding colour in both of the indentations you just made, and then I also add 4 lines either side using the pastels. So firstly I just put the lines on nice and straight so that I know where I want them, and then to give it a bit more of a realistic look, I then smudge out those lines using my paintbrush and I just move it up and down and it gives a really nice soft effect. Also make sure that you're colouring the sides of the shape to make sure you're not missing any areas, and then finally you want to colour the whole of the tail in orange. It is now very important to make sure that you clean your work surface and also your hands because they will be covered in orange powder and we don't really want this getting on our charm. I find it is inevitable, but I will show you a way to get off any smudges that you get on your charm, but this will just make it so much easier and less likely to happen. So because I pre-baked my rice piece, I'm just adding some liquid clay to the top of it to make sure the prawn will stick to it. If both of your pieces are unbaked, you can probably skip this step as they'll stick together very easily. So this next part is a bit fiddly and you're going to want to be as gentle as possible, but you want to release your prawn piece from whatever you were working on and place it on top of the rice. Just remember, whatever touches the prawn, whatever fingers you use are likely going to have orange on them, so it's best to try not touch the white rice piece. Just be very conscious where you're touching and this will minimise any of the orange colour getting on the rice. So once you've pressed the piece down, you can go and wash your hands and come back so you can hold your charm without worrying about getting any orange on it. Here I'm just adding in some more colour where I think my fingers took it off, or that I think it didn't get round the sides of the shape well enough. So then you want to add an eye pin if you want to turn it into a charm, and then you just want to bake it to the package instructions. So once you've baked your charm and you notice that there's any orange colour on the rice part, you can just take some nail varnish remover on a Q-tip and just rub that gently over the surface and it'll remove any colour. So the final step I'm going to do is add a gloss glaze. This is going to protect the chalk pastels and also give a nice shiny realistic effect. I recommend doing this with sort of a soft dabbing motion instead of a brush stroke because you just don't want to move any of the colour that you put down and smudge it all together. So that is the end of this tutorial. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you make this charm, definitely upload a picture to Instagram and tag me. I would love to see it. If you'd like to see more videos from me, you can subscribe down below, and you can also click on the screen to watch more of my videos. Thanks guys, I'll see you in my next video.